Hey nerds, what's up? Today's video is going to be all about 10 of my favorite banned books that are on banned books list because next week is Bibliobook-a-thon. It's running from the 23rd through the 29th. I believe, the 23rd through the 29th, that's 7 days, yeah. So Bibliobook-a-thon is hosted by Catriona over at Little Book Owl, and she has her own Twitter and everything, so that'll all be linked down below. I'm super excited about Bibliobook-a-thon. She hasn't done it in a couple years, and I just love it. Banned Books Week is this week, that's why it's this week, and just so important, such an important concept. So if you don't know what a banned book is, it's all of these books that have basically been banned, whether that means banned from being in school libraries or in public libraries or stuff like that because of their content. So without further ado, let's just get right on into this. So the first book I want to talk about is one of my favorites. I read this book in high school and it is Speak by Laurie Halse Anderson. This book also was made into a movie adaptation where Kristen Stewart played the main character, and I know that all of you probably just rolled your eyes at the same time, and don't let them get stuck in the back of your head, okay? The movie was really good. I really enjoyed it. So this book has a huge trigger warning for rape. It's about this girl who in between 8th grade and 9th grade, she goes to this party to celebrate the fact that they're all going to high school. There's high school kids at the party too. She calls the cops but then runs away, and then a bunch of the kids get in trouble. They get in trouble for drinking, and all this crazy stuff goes down at this party because she called the cops, and so everyone blames her. She spends the first year of high school being really bullied and just all this stuff. It is so good. I honestly might reread this during the week because I haven't read it in a while and it's not too long, and wow. And I assume that it's been banned because of the rape aspect of the content. The next book that I have on my list is Their Eyes Were Watching God by Zora Neale Hurston. Let me just read the synopsis out to you. Fair and long-legged, independent and articulate Janie Crawford sets out to be her own person, no mean feat for a black woman in the 30s. Zora Neale Hurston's classic 1937 novel follows Janie from her nanny's plantation shack to Logan Killick's farm to all-black Eatonville to the Everglades and back to Eatonville, where she gathers in the great fishnet of her life. Janie's quest for identity takes her on a journey during which she learns what love is, experiences life's joys and sorrows, and comes home to herself in peace. Oh, here we go. Okay, copyright 1937. Eleanor and Park is my next book that's been banned. This book was top 10 banned book in 2016, one of the top 10. This book is a contemporary. It follows a girl named Eleanor and a boy named Park, and they both go to the same school. They're misfits. Like, they end up sitting on the bus next to each other, and that's how they become friends. And they're from like different families. There's some triggers for abuse and things like that in this book, and it's just such a heartwarming book. The next book that I want to talk about I don't have with me, but it is Persepolis by Marjane Satrapi. So it's about her growing up in Iran during the Islamic Revolution, and then it's also about her as a young adult during the same sort of time frame, obviously, because she grows up and it's like 20 years. So yeah, really, really amazing. I read this not too long ago, relatively recently, and I really liked it. Didn't care for the art that much, but the story was great. Maybe this book was banned because of the fact that it takes place in the Islamic Revolution, or that she is a Muslim. I'm not sure, but it could have been those things. So the next book that I have here is The Kite Runner, which also has some huge trigger warnings for abuse and sexual assault. And this is about a boy, Amir. It's about a boy named Amir who comes of age during the last peaceful days of the monarchy before his country's revolution and its invasion by Russian forces. Holy crap, this book was amazing. I also kind of want to read this. Oh, A Moving Portrait of Modern Afghanistan. I don't have words for this book. It's so good. I recommend everyone should read it. It was very intense. Top 10 of banned books in 2017, 2016, 2015, 2014, and then I stopped going down the list, but this book has been banned for a long time. The next book I want to talk about I don't have in person, but it is George by Alex Gino. So it's a female to male transgender story about a little girl, and she's in like 4th grade or 5th grade, and she just really wants to be the lead female role in the play that the kids are doing. It's so cute, short, sweet. Every child, every parent, every person who works with children, every person who deals with children should read this book. It's so cute and so amazing, and just, I'm so happy it's around. And I assume that it's been banned because it's about a transgender child. Top 10 banned books in 2017 and 2016. And then our next book is The Hate You Give by Angie Thomas, and this was within the top 10 banned books of 2017, the year that it came out. Isn't that fascinating? A lot of you probably know what this book is. A lot of people on BookTube have read it or loved it, or at least talk about it, so you've probably heard about it. This book follows a girl named Star who lives in a low-income, mostly black neighborhood, and she goes to school in a mostly white, affluent neighborhood at a private school, and her dad is an owner of a grocery store that's in the neighborhood she lives in. And one night she's at a party in her neighborhood with a bunch of friends and an old friend that is a boy. They reconnect at this party and they're having a good time. He's driving her home, they get pulled over by a cop, and her friend gets shot for essentially no reason. So then she has to deal with the fact that not only did she witness this horrific event and she's like traumatized, but also does she want to be a witness? So many good like intertwining topics that go into this book. So nuanced and so good, and I highly recommend this one. If you haven't picked it up yet, read it. And the movie comes out in October, so perfect time to pick this one up for Bibliobook-a-thon if you want. Next book that I want to talk about is not something that I own, but it is the Saga series. This book is by Brian K. Vaughan and Fiona Staples, and this is a graphic novel about a little girl. The little girl is narrating it, and her parents are two species that have been at war for a really long time. Their planets are at war, the governments are at war, and so because this child exists, the governments are all out to get them to murder the child because it proves that these two species can coexist together. Woo-wee! It is sexual and graphic, plus there's the political element. There's all sorts of shit going down in this book, which doesn't make sense, but is probably why it's been banned. I plan on reading one of these probably for Bibliobook-a-thon, but we'll get to my TBR in a few days. Saga was on the top 10 banned book list for 2015, and I don't think it was on the top 10 for the following 2 years, but that doesn't mean it wasn't banned at all, if that makes sense. The last two here, one of them is another favorite book of mine, and it is The Perks of Being a Wallflower. This was top 10 banned books of 2014 and 2013, and then I didn't go past that. This book is about a boy named Charlie, and it is written in letter form. You've probably heard of this book. It was also adapted into a movie. So this book follows Charlie, and there's trigger warning for sexual assault. It's just about him being a wallflower, meaning that he doesn't really like to socialize, and so he becomes friends with these two who are seniors when I think he's a freshman, and they kind of take him under his wing and like teach him how to be like social. And there's drugs in this book, there's sex in this book, there's sexual assault in this book. Like, there's plenty of stuff that's probably why it's on the banned book list, and so good. Highly recommend. Last book that I want to talk about is The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins. This was top 10 banned books of 2013 and 2012, and then I stopped looking. You guys know what The Hunger Games is about, right? Like, there's movies. This thing has been around for a long time. Very popular dystopian book. Just in case you don't know, it's about a girl named Katniss. She lives far in the future of our current time, and in this future there are 13 districts plus the capital. The capital has a lot of money, and then the farther out of the districts you go into number 13 like no longer exists, and District 12 is where Katniss is from. They're very poor but very distraught, all this stuff, and every year there are the Hunger Games where anyone under the age of 18 gets put into a bowl basically, and their names get picked, and one boy and one girl from each district have to play in the Hunger Games, and only one survives. They have to kill each other for the entertainment of the capital. Did I do a good job? I mean, everyone knows what this book is about. Was that a good synopsis? I don't even know. I love this book. So those are 10 of my favorite books that have been banned in the past or are presently sometimes still being challenged, and I hope you guys enjoyed this video. Give it a thumbs up if you did. Let me know in the comments what you're planning on reading for Bibliobook-a-thon. My TBR will be my next video. I make videos every Wednesday and Saturday, so if you want to hit that notification bell to be notified every time I post a video, that would be awesome, and I will see you guys very soon with a Bibliobook-a-thon TBR. Bye!